Welcome back to this special chat with Vibha Padalkar, CEO and Managing Director of HDFC Life on Bima Sabke Liye. Well, Vibha, I wanted to move over to the other issue now. Again, the pandemic is, kind of overshadowing my thinking. But will premiums rise or have they already risen? I think the reinsurance
Yeah.
premiums are rising. So are they rising because everyone perceives life and living to be a higher, more costly affair?
So it's a combination of both. Our premiums did rise a bit. This was right at the beginning around April when reinsurance premiums went up. But now they have stabilized and we don't see in the near term, unless of course, something very exceptional were to happen in terms of second pandemic and a lot of mortality claims and so on. What is happening today is that there is a lot of demand, intrinsic demand for term. That is very clear. 1 in 40 of people who could afford to buy insurance has bought insurance. So really a long roadmap. However, my earlier point that I'm making about ability to sift out the good lives from the organized frauds
Yes.
or anti-selection is what is happening. And so we are asked this question: that is, term, has it gone off a little bit and has it petered out in terms of demand? Not
Yes.
at all. Today,
Okay.
we are roughly converting, Lata, about 50% of the money that we receive. So if 100 customers want to buy term insurance, we are converting only 50. We are giving back their money to say, boss, we either need more information, we need you to go and do some more medical tests, or we need more KYC data, whatever it is. Because these
Oh,
are not 1 year policy. We were talking about 10, 15, 20, 30 years.
yes.
The life expectancy over a very long period on a life that we don't know enough about. So
Yes.
there will always be players who will want to ride that kind of risk, but we're just being cautious.
Let me come to the other issue now, the advance of digital. How has that changed life? Uh, because your agents or people are not able to go and visit, is that making people resistant? Or is your target customer gotten used to being approached digitally and helped digitally?
Yes, our customers are increasingly getting used to it, and that's the first a change in a way of our focus on digital. Yes, selling digital also is something that we do now because the pandemic has really extended itself. But the first thing that we did was reaching out to our customers digitally, wherein they did not have to walk into a branch, and for some time our branches were open only on a skeletal basis, so they could do everything that they wanted to do. Having said that, insurance is a long-term product that is more complex than just some of the other financial products. So some level of digital kind of a mix will remain. There will also be customers who are more comfortable on physical, some who
People,
everything
yes.
else only digital, and it will be a combination. So our mantra has been that we have to be present in a manner and in a location that customer wants to deal with.
People who
Yeah.
are outside always get a fear that how will I approach the person when there is a complaint? After all, there is no office in the city or in the village. Is
Yeah.
digital able to tide over these worries?
Absolutely. And on claims specifically, as long as it's not an early claim, which means death within 1 year of taking the policy, if it's not an early claim and every papers are in order, then people now we've launched easy claims. So you can just take a picture of 2 or 3 pieces of paper like a death certificate and KYC, upload it, send it. People are beginning to take that, and the money will be in the nominee's bank because the bank details have been given.
So,
Very, very simple. But on complaints, there is a human element, Lata. And I'll be honest, while we are able to handle complaints without face to face,
mm,
but often we find that when a person walks into our branch, he or she feels reassured, especially in smaller towns that you mentioned. So we won't want to say, I want to completely exit. We might have a hub and spoke model. We might have a smaller branch. Rather than having a 750 square feet, we might have a 300 square feet. But
yeah.
we will have somebody, or in a catchment, we will have that. So if he wants to, maybe a little bit longer in terms of his two-wheeler ride, but he or she can get there.
What about fintech? I mean, I know this is a big word and it can mean many things, all things to all men. But how is that getting woven into insurance selling?
Oh, we are very committed to that. This is the third year that we are running a project under the brand name of Futurance, internal brand name, wherein through that we also partner to sift through various fintechs, and it could be as much as maybe 70, 80, out of which it's whittled down. Finally, maybe we take 7 to 10 use cases. They will work on a project that we have given. We have a hypothesis, or they might come in with a hypothesis when they worked on something else, and we'll test it out and to see whether we can roll this out. This is the way to go. It will take time. Some of it will be deep. Some of it will be more in terms of eyeballs. Like for example, take a selfie, get a quote, or but some can be deeper. For example, we have a centilizer. So when a person calls, an irate customer calls, right now it used to be that it was first in, first out in terms of who handles. But now through this bot, we are able to pick that call out of the queue, and we can have a supervisor that can barge into that call without the customer getting more and more irate. So there's an entire spectrum of a lot of these fintechs who are able to help us add in a different feature and to build a competitive advantage as well as service customers differently.
Okay, Vibha, I want to ask you one newsy question. This budget increased the taxes on ULIP. How have your customers received it? Has there been any impact on sales?
No, fortunately not. And also earlier, if you recall, last budget when we had a similar ATC and how that panned out. Today, tax is fortunately not the main reason why people buy insurance. It used to be. Today, it's about the seventh or eighth reason. So that has not changed. Also for HDFC Life, because we've believed in a balance and not all eggs in one basket. If we did nothing, that more than 2.5 lakhs will only be 3% on our top line and nothing on the bottom line. So one data point, Lata, is that yesterday I did a review of my North Zone business, and we had a lot of our consultants there. Not a single one raised this issue. So just in terms of finger on the pulse, otherwise you would be it would have hogged perhaps 80% of the time, but not a single question.
Okay. Well, that's a pleasure. Actually, good to hear that people are becoming more aware. But one last point you want to make on how to make people more aware of the need for insurance?
Absolutely. I think please look at some of the self-read material. We have simple videos of the need and the fact that today there is so much uncertainty. We're not saying that something will happen, God forbid, that actually pans out. But the what if scenario, at least cover yourselves for your income supplement of your not being there, health supplement, and outliving one's savings. At least these three things one should have in order, and then think of it as if, is it a waste of money? Let's get caught up too much in the IRR part of it. Let's also look at pure protection.
Okay, point taken. Vibha Padalkar, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for joining in and clarifying both the necessities and some of the misconceptions that people have.